Why are clothes so damn hard to draw? Well, the answer to that question lies within the question itself. Hey there, I'm Zaid, a professional artist with 13 years of experience doing both traditional and digital art, and nowadays I teach art through my free email course, the 30-Day Artist Studio. For the purposes of this video, I will not be using the words clothes or cloth. The word I will be using is fabric. Fabric is such a massive challenge for artists because unlike other solids, fabric doesn't have any structural integrity. If you drop a pen or a ball or a washing machine, it still maintains its shape. However, fabric will just crumple and flatten. To understand how fabric works, we need to keep in mind an important bit of theory. Every inch of a fabric will always try to fall to the ground, especially the edges. This only doesn't happen when it's obstructed. And because fabric is made of thousands of floppy strings, the obstructed regions of the cloth will take the shape of the obstruction, while the rest will continue to fall to the ground. This also works the other way. If an obstruction tries to push through a fabric, the fabric, once again, will take its shape. Now, keep that in mind, as that principle will form the basis of every single cloth you draw for the rest of your life. Fabric has two main behaviors: compression and stretching. Compression is when two or more points of a fabric are pushed towards each other. This happens most commonly when a plain cloth is folded at an acute angle. For example, if you place the cloth on your bent arm, there is an acute angle at your elbow. And because we know that the edges of a cloth try to move towards the ground, we know that this surface area is going to slide down the slope of your hand. But fabric, like we said, has no structural integrity. So it actually starts to form these accordion-like waves perpendicular to the direction of force at the point of pressure. And this is called compression. The thicker the fabric, the less wrinkles form, but they do form nonetheless. But what if someone is manually squishing a cloth? Do you remember how I said that when a cloth is obstructed, it takes the shape of the obstruction? If someone manually pushes two sides of a cloth together, not only will it compress into its accordion shape, each individual wave will also fold around the shape of the obstruction that's pushing it, in this case, the hand. Perhaps the most practical scenario of compression is when you sit down. Sitting down folds your shirt at a 90-degree angle, causing it to compress at your waist. If you're sitting down right now, just take a look. I bet you it'll be making accordion waves while also taking the shape of your stomach. Fold your leg. You'll notice the same thing happen at the back of your knee. Your trouser will compress into accordion-like waves while taking the shape of your thigh and calf. The second behavior is stretching. This is the opposite of compression and occurs when a fabric is pulled between 2 points. When this happens, the fabric folds laterally to the direction of force as opposed to perpendicular to it. This is why, if you just stood up, your shirt would have waves that stretch from top to bottom and travel from left to right, because the fabric is being pulled between your shoulders and the ground. Gravity can be a point of tension as well. In fact, gravity is the most common point of tension when it comes to clothes. Now, this is where it starts getting really tricky, because the human body has points of tension where if you put clothes on them, they stretch the fabric. But apart from that, clothes themselves have their own points of tension. For example, the sewing line that connects the sleeve to the shoulder is a point of tension between gravity and the end of the sleeve, causing an effect like this. The more complex an outfit becomes, the more points of tension it will have. And because of this, it isn't practical to give a step-by-step guide to drawing clothes, since there are hundreds of types of clothes with new ones being developed almost every day. So here's the takeaway I want you to have from this video. Remember the rule about how clothes travel to the ground. Remember the rule about how clothes take the shape of obstructions. Remember the two behaviors of compression and stretching and how they work. And afterwards, play with your own clothes. The best way to learn how to draw fabric isn't to look at YouTube tutorials, it's to play with fabric in real life and observe how it behaves. If you found this video helpful, then please consider checking out my free art course at subscribepage.io/30dayartist. It has 17 lessons covering composition, line art, coloring, lighting, and art style, and each lesson will be sent directly to your email. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.